Hey guys. So I'm not gonna go through and do the signs for this. I started pulling cards and I felt like the readings weren't really resonating with me. I feel like we're heading into a new eon. And what Jesus had said about going into the new eon, they asked him if the fortune tellers and the soothsayers would be able to predict this new era. And he said, I'm going to move everything from the left over to the right. I'm going to change the triangles, the squares, the sextile, and the octagons. So a lot of the things that have been relevant in our lives up until this point, everybody who's pointed to the left is no longer going to be getting the accurate messages, but those who are pointed to the right, they will get the accurate messages. Which means that people are going to have to change up their technique, probably, to a certain extent. I myself made a major breakthrough over the past week regarding some new medications that I'm going to be taking. As a lot of you who have watched the channel regularly are aware, I have had a lot of mental health issues over the past year in preparation for the new eon. And so today I'm going to be focusing on some scrying messages. So there might be specific things that come through. There might just be guidance coming through. This is a blue rose quartz. Blue rose quartz. And I can kind of see the light through it. Heliocentric societies. So that would have been like in ancient Egypt, they had the sun god is represented as being like the main deity. Societies that are very focused on the light of the sun. In the modern era, we haven't had to be because of electricity and light bulbs and things like that. So a heliocentric society, I would say here in California, for example, the sun here is much more intense than pretty much anywhere else in the United States. Fight me, Texas. So a place like California, you're aware of the sun pretty much all day long. If you're indoors and there are windows on the building, the sun is like beaming in through those windows and it heats up buildings a lot. What is important about the heliocentric society? Why is that coming through? People are going to be outdoors more. People are going to be spending more time outside. Not primarily for work. Not primarily for work, but to commune with one another. I'm not getting a lot about public parks, though. What kind of outdoor activities are people going to be doing? I see like neighborhood things. So like when I was growing up, there was a public pool. Well, it was a neighborhood pool, and you had to be a member to like use the pool, basically. Or you had to be friends with somebody who was a member of the pool. And so that's kind of coming up in the messages right now, that people will be finding these places. So I don't know if necessarily all of them are going to be like private clubs, but people will be focused more on being outdoors, being in the sun, probably places like the beach. Not as much public parks, but I think mostly because public parks have kind of become a facility of necessity, shall we say. I'm sure there are public parks that people will be congregating at, but a lot of the public parks have been taken over by hostile architecture. So what else do we need to know for 2024? A ridiculous amount of sunbathing. So I don't know if clothing trends are going to be supportive of like people going out and sunbathing in public. There are going to be more opportunities for people to take in sunlight and not be indoors as much. Now, I live in California. I need to know, is this message specific to California? And I think it's not. I think even more so it's going to be true in areas like mid-Atlantic states, areas where people would not normally be outside otherwise, because in California, I think a lot of people already are spending a lot of time outside. And what is the significance of more people spending time outside? They're going to be talking to each other in person. So we're going to see a decentralization away from the internet, which I've talked, I think, in the last video I did, I talked about the repeal of net neutrality, which is basically going to kill the internet for all intents and purposes. I'm sure it'll still be around, but much like cable TV and subscription services killed broadcast television and then ended up cannibalizing themselves. That's kind of similar to what you're going to see with the internet. It's a shame. It's a great, useful resource. But all of these things are so wantonly corrupted by greed. Really, really short-sighted behaviors. Okay, so what else are we looking at for 2024? Meat box subscription. I guess people getting more food sent to their houses, like perishable items. So while people will be focusing on going out more to enjoy each other's company, places like the grocery store maybe are going to be transitioning toward delivery services, and people have food items brought directly to their homes instead of going out. These are some very exciting predictions. I can't wait to see which ones are real. Organelle. A scientific breakthrough having to do with the Golgi apparatus in our cells. Oh man, it's been so long since I took cell biology. Okay, so I did do a little refresher on the Golgi apparatus. I apologize. It really has literally been, I think, over a decade since I took cell biology, and I haven't been thinking about that a lot. The Golgi apparatus is where proteins and lipids come in from the endoplasmic reticulum and they get sorted. So whatever that prediction, there's going to be something to do with a new discovery regarding the function of the Golgi apparatus, and I think ways to utilize it in some kind of therapeutic manner. I'm hearing like Archaeopteryx and Sphinx. I don't think this one's real, but like that an Archaeopteryx fossil is going to be found like near the Sphinx. I mean, that's entirely possible. I'm not sure what their region was, but that one sounds pretty fake. Why is that relevant? So it has more to do with when these fossils have been found by different cultures throughout the millennia, the response of those cultures to finding fossils. So, you know, early dinosaur bones, when they were found, people were like, oh, they're dragons. And, you know, to be fair, they kind of are. And there's something I want to talk about too, in regards, especially like a prediction like this, that I'm not really getting like a lot out of it. People have a tendency to fill in details where they don't necessarily have all of the information. It's okay to leave blank spaces on that form until you get the accurate information that you need. I just wanted to throw that in there. Kind of losing it. I really appreciate you guys joining me today. And you know what I would really like to know? What are your predictions for 2024? Let me know down in the comments. It's good to see you guys again. Love you lots. And until next time.